Hi, Supernova here. I have some thoughts on confirmation bias and how it applies to prayer, and that could be prayer in any religion. And if you're scratching your head and wondering what is confirmation bias, don't worry, I got your back. It's cognitive bias that allows you to only see the things that confirm your beliefs or allow you to dismiss or ignore things that don't confirm your beliefs and opinions. And one of the best stories that I've ever heard that illustrates this, I hate to say I can't cite it. I don't remember the source, but kudos to whoever came up with this. A husband and wife are asked, does the husband always leave the toilet seat down? A common marital complaint for women. The man says, yes, I always leave it down. I love my wife, and I always consider her of her needs. And the wife says, he's lying. He never leaves it down for me. He's not lying. And neither is she. They're just victims of confirmation bias. Now, the guy, after he's done doing his business, if he is thinking about his wife, if he's conscious about it, and he remembers, hey, I ought to leave the toilet seat down, he does. And he has a memory of that and says, oh yeah, I left the toilet seat down like I always do. But if he totally forgets about it, he's distracted or just for some reason he doesn't think about it, he doesn't have any memory of it, because if he had been thinking about it in the first place, then he would have left the toilet seat down. And so the only occasions that he remembers are the ones that confirm his belief that he always leaves it down. Now the wife, on the other hand, if she goes into the bathroom and finds the toilet seat down, it's a non-event. There's no reason for her to consciously think about it, and she doesn't have a memory. Whereas if she's about to go sit down and she almost falls into the toilet, then she's going to remember and have a very negative feeling about it. And thus, the only times that she ever remembers going into the bathroom was when the toilet seat was up. So you can see how confirmation bias plays there, and these people aren't special. We're all subject to confirmation bias, even those of us who know very well what it is and think about it constantly and hate it. I took a test and found that I still suffer from confirmation bias, and you can too. Let me give you the test. I found it online. Imagine 4 cards on a table. These cards all have letters on one side, numbers on the other. The sides that you can see read A, D, 4, and 7. That's all you have to picture, A, D, 4, and 7. Now somebody tells you that if a card has a vowel on one side, then it has to have an even number on the other side. Which cards do you have to turn over to decide whether that's true? Pause the video. Think about it for a moment. A, D, 4, and 7. All vowels have an even number on the other side. Which cards do you have to turn over? If you said A and 4, congratulations, you're normal. But you're wrong. The A, obviously, you have to see if there's a even number on the other side of the A to confirm the rule. But flipping over the 4 won't tell you anything, whether there's a vowel or a consonant. It won't prove the rule. What you have to do is disprove the rule by flipping over the 7. If there's a vowel on the other side, then not all vowels have even numbers on the other side. This is purposely going out and seeking disconfirming evidence. And like I said, it's normal to suffer from confirmation bias. If you said A and 4, you're part of the vast majority of people, including me. So, don't feel bad about it. But, in the future, try to think about it. Author Jonathan Haidt applies this to how we deal with new information. He says, if we're given something that we want to believe in, what we do is ask, can I believe this? Do I have permission? Can I self-justify believing this? Can I fit it into my narrative? Do I have permission? Whereas if we're faced with something that we don't want to believe, we ask, must I believe this? Do I have to? Am I compelled to? So, can I believe this against must I believe this? And it all has to do with trying to confirm what we already believe and rejecting things that we don't want to believe. And like I said, this applies to prayer. Typically anecdotal reports of prayer. If you ask a Christian or a Muslim or any religion that prays, are your prayers answered? Well, they'll typically say yes, of course, because if they didn't believe that, then they probably wouldn't continue to belong to that religion. And obviously they only remember the times that their prayers are answered, because the answering triggers the memory of the prayer. If they pray for something and it never comes true, there's no result, they just never remember the prayer in the first place. The only way to know for certain is to do it scientifically, to record every single prayer and record the results. But even that might not disprove prayer, because as Seth of the Thinking Atheist said in a Free OK speech, he said there's no answer to prayer that will disconfirm it. There's no such thing as disconfirming evidence to prayer. No matter what the result, it can fit as an answer to prayer. Yes, no, or maybe as answers to prayer. That covers everything that could possibly happen. So just some things to keep in mind. See you next time.